to buy new or used? That is the question. But before you answer that question, there's a ton of things that you got to put in thought, if you will. You got to sit down, pros and cons, all that good stuff. But more importantly, when you're going out to buy a motorcycle, you're going to have people tugging and pulling on you. And what do I mean? Well, you're going to have people go Harley, Indian, Yamaha, Suzuki, Cruiser, sports bike. The problem is, that's what fits them. You have to be worried about what fits you, what you like, what your dislikes are. Then you can go and answer the question new or used. One thing you got to keep in mind, different brands, height, weight, the whole 9 yards. You're not going to put somebody, say, like China Doll, the old lady, on a bagger. She's just too small for that. Sportster, maybe, but Rebel, yes. You got to find your fit. You got to fit like a glove when it comes to buying a motorcycle. You don't want to go out there to buy a motorcycle just to look cool, because it ain't going to work. It's not safe. If you don't get the right bike, you can put your safety in jeopardy. And that really applies to short peoples. But when you do figure that out, there's some things you want to look at, especially when it comes to new and used. Let's start out with new. Now, I can already hear the people saying stay away from Harley or stay away from Yamaha or Kawasaki. It depends on their flavor, but anyway, it might be too much money. And you got to ask yourself a couple things when it comes to new and used. Are you looking for a turnkey type of deal? Meaning, you go in and you see a bike, it's all set up with your pipes, all that kind of stuff. It's got the cam in it. Everything that you would do to it, it's already ready for you. Well, then, of course, you want to go used on that, because that's a lot of money in pipes, cams, all that kind of stuff. But if you're not looking for that, if you're not looking to spend all that kind of money, and you want to start from a base platform of what you want to do, then I'd go new. That way you got yourself a bare bones platform. You got your warranties. You can get extended warranties on that. And I'm not just talking Harley here. I'm talking it all here. Because you might assume I'm talking about Harley, and I'm not. I'm talking about everything. So if you go new, there's a lot of stuff you got to research. Especially finance. Okay? Finance and interest rates. You can go to one dealer and he'll say 12.5. You go to another dealer, they're saying 13,000. And a lot of people are going to go, oh, well, he wants to give it to me for 12.5. But what's the interest rate you're getting it at? The guy giving it to you at 12.5 is probably giving you, say, 9%. Just throwing a number out there. But the other guy at 13,000 is saying, I'll give you 7%. So over the life of the loan, it's actually cheaper going with the 13,000 than the 12.5 and saving 500 up front than it is over the long term of the loan. Because financing a motorcycle, either new or used, that's one thing that you got to think about. Unless you got cash and you're just going to go out there and throw it down. Another thing you're going to want to check out with the new stuff is the warranties. What does it include? How many miles do you have to make sure you hit the service intervals? Or does the warranty have any stipulations in it that you have to follow? Then, to continue down that road, if you decide the financing is right for you, you decide the warranty is good enough for you, you found the bike you want that you want to mold to your own, then you got to look on the dealer tack-on cost. Oh yeah, any which way they can, they will try to get you. Now, a good salesman is going to try to get you into something that you like, that you really feel comfortable with. They're not going to try to push you into something you don't want, because if you leave unhappy, you're not going to tell people to come back to the dealership. Not going to do it. So they should make you feel comfortable in what you're buying. And make sure you're test riding it. I don't care if it's new or not. Go over it with the fine-tooth comb. Used. Let's get to used. Used motorcycles or something. We're talking, you can get them off Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, you name it, Cycle Trader, anything. You can get a used motorcycle. But is it smarter to go to a dealership and buy used, or is it better to get it off of the internet per se? Well, you got to ask yourself, well, how mechanically inclined are you? Because if you're going to go out there on, say, a Facebook Marketplace, you're going to want to know what to check for on that motorcycle. You're going to want to go over it with a fine-tooth comb just like a dealership would on a trade. Because you got to remember, if a dealership has a used bike on that floor, they usually went over it. I know Harley does. Because again, you don't want a guy coming in there and buying a used bike. Next thing you know, everything's breaking down and it hasn't even got out the door. So they really go through it. I got to give Harley that. But that's not the case when you go on Facebook Marketplace. You got to do all that. And you just can't take the word of the person you're buying it from. What do? I go for the used bikes. I like used because I really do my research when I go used at a dealership, because there's thousands listed all over these websites with this dealership network, especially with Harley Davidson, that you can pick what you want, see what's on it, the whole 9 yards. Me, it's not so much exhaust or any of that stuff, because quite frankly, I like baffles. I like a bone stock with my pipes. My hearing stinks, so I don't like the loud pipes in my ears. Like, just cruise down the road, you know what I mean. But that might be something that you say you pick off of Facebook and, oh man, look at that sucker's beefed up, all that kind of stuff, exhaust popping, dragging. But do you know what to look for? I say you're taking a big risk off the street. Yes, you could say the same thing about a dealership, but you have some peace of mind, even if it's a little, that they looked over that motorcycle. And if there is something wrong, they'll fix it. I know with my 98 Classic I just got, charging system wasn't up to par, they fixed it. The radio wasn't up to par, they fixed it. I actually pulled their pants down and gave them something, you know what I mean? But I know how to negotiate the price. I've owned dozens of Harleys and dozens of other motorcycles, so I know what to do as far as looking and what I'm going to pay. I basically got a $6,000 Classic, 12,000 miles on it, and I got them to put an entire charging system in and a radio and rebuild the car. That's the kind of stuff you got to research when you're going out there buying stuff. Because a lot of people are so excited, they just want to go out there and buy the bike. You don't want to do that. You got to do your research. And when you're buying a new one, make sure, and this is a good thing about buying used compared to new, is you let somebody go buy, say, a 2022. It's going to be 2023, but most of that comes out on the 18th. But they go and buy a 2022 Glide. They're going to ride it around until like 2024, 2025. Well, let them get hit with the depreciation on that motorcycle. They're going to get hit hard as soon as they pull out of the showroom. But by the time they want to get rid of it, the dealer's going to give them less money, and you're going to pick it up for less money. That's why I like going to a Harley dealership. And I found a 98 just like that. Low miles. They wanted to get rid of it. Boom. Gift to Hollywood. So keep in mind what depreciation is and the finance options you have. Personally, I wouldn't use Eagle Mark. They're trying to get people, and I've heard this a million times, trying to get people to actually take out 8-year loans. The longer you go, the more money they make. So you got to have your finances in order if you're going to buy any kind of bike, used, new, whatever it may be. So just think about just a couple. Man, I can go on for an hour with this subject. Just take your time. Don't get overexcited. Don't listen to anybody else but yourself when you're going out there to buy a motorcycle. Make sure it fits you. Make sure you can handle it. If you're a new rider, don't go out and buy a bagger. No, start small. Work your way up to that. Get your experience. Let me know what you all think. Let me know in the comments section. Yes, the 18th is coming. The new models are going to come out, and on Thursday's video, we're going to be covering it. Rock on. And don't forget to subscribe to Insane Wheels, my newest channel over on YouTube. Everything Harley talk, motorcycle related. It's going to be a great time over there.